host, Renee Kranz. In the studio with me today, I have two lovely ladies from the St. Vincent de Paul Society. I have Cathy Crisp, who is the district council president for would it be the South Dakota conference, or is it like Sioux Falls conference?
Sioux Falls diocesan area.
There, thank you. And I have Brenda Wersal. She is the president of the St. Michael Conference for St. Vincent de Paul and the fundraising chair for a large project they have going on, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But the ladies were kind enough to come in to tell us what St. Vincent de Paul Society does, why it's important that we know that, and what we can do to help them. So thank you for being here, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Cathy, let's start with you. You tell us, what is the Society of St. Vincent de Paul? Lots of people have heard about it, but I think a lot of people don't really necessarily know everything you do.
I would say St. Vincent de Paul is the best kept secret in Sioux Falls.
Yes.
You see the storefront, you know there's a thrift store, but behind the scenes, there's a lot more going on. Mm-hmm. We have been around Sioux Falls for over 50 years. We do outreach to homes.
Okay.
So we have an assistance line where they can go online and fill out a form and request assistance for their very basic needs, anything from their rent to their utilities, gas for their car, whatever the case might be. Mm-hmm. And then one of the Vincentian teams of two people will go out, they'll schedule a home visit and go out and visit with those folks. Mm-hmm. Do kind of just get an idea of what that family situation really is, or that individual situation is. Maybe they've asked for rent, but you walk in and there's no furniture. And so are those other resources that we can be helping connect them to and find for them, or get them a voucher to our store. Mm-hmm. Maybe you see cabinets and they're empty. There's no groceries.
Right.
And so we have a partnership here in town, so we can get vouchers for groceries. We also have many donations that come into some of the churches. Mm-hmm. So that outreach is split between 5 of the parishes here in Sioux Falls.
Oh, okay.
Those are called conferences.
Right.
And we have Christ the King Conference, St. Mary's, St. Michael's, St. Lambert's, and St. Catherine Drexel.
Very nice.
And so each of those has several volunteers. And then, like I said, we partner up within our own conference, and we rotate that.
Okay.
So one week you might ask for assistance and you might get St. Michael's, and another week you'll ask and it might be St. Mary's.
I see.
Yeah. So
that's like when they request assistance, it's not always the same parish.
Correct.
Not always the same people. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
We do share that information with each other, so that we're kind of, in the know as far as who's been giving what help.
Sure.
And so that helps us. One of the things we try to focus on is systemic change. So we try to give them more of a help up instead of just giving them a handout that they're going to take and go. And we want to help them be more self-sustainable in the future.
I was just thinking that when you said that you go do a home visit and see what's there, rather than just having someone say, hey, I need some financial assistance, and just give them money, that might not help. It might help for a moment, for a month, or whatever it is, but it doesn't really work towards solving any problems that they're facing on a regular basis.
Right.
So that's huge.
It is. And the beautiful part about St. Vincent de Paul is we are not an agency.
Right.
We are a faith-based ministry. Mm-hmm. And so that allows us to not have all of the red tape that people have to go through. Mm-hmm. We obviously see where there's a need, and we help with those basic needs. Mm-hmm. But we don't have all of the guidelines of, well, if you make, $50 more than our set income guidelines, we're not going to help you. We don't have that.
Right. That's great.
Yeah, we do pay. All of our assistance goes directly to the provider, so landlord or a utility company. Mm-hmm. We don't give cash out to the folks that we help.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, all of that is tracked, and we're part of a nationwide and international organization as well. So we have a regional that we have support from, and then that goes up to our national and our international as well. So it's not just us here in Sioux Falls. We're all over the world.
Right.
So
I love that. And actually, I'm really glad to hear that, because we often get emails to the Chancery or phone calls, people who need something.
Right.
Sometimes it's rent assistance. And I mean, here we are administrative offices, so we're not really set up to do that. But I actually did not know that you do that. Now, I suspect Annie, our receptionist, knows that because she is supposed to know all the places to send them to. I will make sure she knows that.
It's nice to know a lot of the parishes get those phone calls as well. And so it's, getting that word out and making people more aware that, hey, your secretary doesn't have to be taking these calls every time.
Right.
Let's get something set up within your parish where you have volunteers that want to help people. No, they have that opportunity.
Yeah. So as president, Cathy, I mean, we assume that you kind of run the show, but what do you do?
Oh, I don't run the show.
I do she doesn't run the show.
I do not run the show.
Just make sure it doesn't all fall apart, right?
I am a person that answers a lot of questions.
Sure.
And I try to keep that communication between our local area and our regional and national.
Oh, sure.
Kind of bridge that gap and get that information and connect the two so that they have that.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
So, Brenda, in your parish, you're the president of the St. Michael Conference. Can you tell us what you do there? I mean, we know you go out on outreaches, but how does that look in a parish?
Well, we do also have meetings that we get together twice a month.
Okay.
And we get together in prayer as well because we are to grow in holiness as friends as well. And that helps us go out to meet with people and do those home visits and not be judgmental.
Yeah.
We're also trained for the home visits, so we can go out and try to be Christ for those people because they really are desperate at the time they're reaching out to us. What it looks like is a group of people that have great hearts and want to go help others, lift them up, and let them know you're doing okay. I know it's stressful right now, but things are going to get better. Let's see how we can get a plan together and get you going in the right direction so you don't have to be so stressed.
Yeah. It sounds great. So, from either one of you, do you have a really good story from any of your visits that you could share, or anything from the store, whatever you think would be helpful?
Probably more than you want us to tell you.
Okay, pick one or two.
I do have one where we helped an individual. This is my favorite story to tell. We helped an individual with rent and getting into their own apartment. And they got their job and they moved into a larger apartment and were more self-sustaining. And at the same time, we had another visit come in. And because I knew the strengths of the person from the first visit, I called him and I said, you've always said that you'd be willing to help us. I said, I've got a guy who's got to have some knee surgery and he doesn't have anyone to cook meals for him. And so I met that gentleman, the first gentleman at the store, got the groceries. He took them to his apartment and he cooked all the meals.
Oh my goodness.
And he put them in storage containers for this man who was having knee surgery and then brought it to me and then we delivered it to the apartment.
Wow.
So that he would have, 5 days worth of meals while he tried to, get over his pain and get that kind of under control and start healing a little bit. And so it was really a full circle.
Yeah.
And that was really nice to see.
Yeah, that's beautiful when they can, because people really appreciate the help. And when then they can turn around and help someone else in a similar situation or, a different situation that they just need help there. That's really good.
Yeah, we have a lot that we'll offer to get involved afterwards.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
really cool.
We've had some come and work with the diaper ministry. And,
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Holy Innocents Diaper Ministry is something that we do the first, second, and third Wednesday and Saturday of every single month.
Okay.
We have diapers, wipes, and formula vouchers now that we give out. To those, they can come once every 60 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And all they do is, just provide something that shows that need. So maybe it's a Medicaid card or a food stamp card or something of that nature. And then the child has to be, I believe, under 4
Oh, sure.
years old.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they will give them diapers or pull-ups
Right.
and then wipes as well.
Very nice. I bet that's really helpful because diapers are expensive.
They are.
Well, all of it's
Yes,
expensive.
right. And they try to give them, I think, about a month's worth
Yeah.
of diapers. So
Very nice.
Yes.
So
yeah.
then they only have to come up with another month if they can come out
Right.
every 60 days, which has got to be super helpful.
Right.
Especially if you have a fixed income of some sort or a reduced income for one reason or another. So,
Well, and if you've had a new baby
yeah.
and you're home for a little while, then
Yep.
money is tight.
Yeah.
And so you see that, you see those people come in.
Yeah. Brenda, any stories from you?
I want to share one in particular.
Okay,
There's many,
good.
but this just shows you the effectiveness of doing a home visit.
Mm-hmm.
We had a gentleman that had called us needing rent, but when we got to the home visit, we were talking with him, and yes, he needed rent, but he was looking for a job because he had been laid off from another one. Well, he was older, and I just had this little tap on the shoulder. I call them God taps or shoulder
yeah.
taps, whatever. But I said, well, are you on any medication? And he said, blood pressure medication. And, he couldn't afford to get it, and his blood pressure was high. But there's this one job he could get if he could just have his blood pressure normal. And so it was actually a whole gamut of, it was a whole thing that if he could, it could affect his whole life.
Right. Yes.
So we helped him with part of the rent and helped him with the medication. So then, he gets his medication, which saves him from a stroke,
Yes,
possibly. So
yes.
medically it improves. Then he can go get that job, which can help pay the rest of the
Yes.
rent, which improves his life, decreases his stress, which decreases his blood pressure.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's just the home visit is so very, very important.
Yeah.
And you do get those promptings by prayer. We pray before we go in, and we pray after we leave the visit as well.
Very nice. Do you pray with the person? Or
We
do you-
also pray with
Yeah,
them
okay.
during
We
the
do.
visit.
Very good.
Right
and they
before
don't have to
we
be
leave.
Catholic. It
Oh,
can
no.
be anybody.
Absolutely.
No,
Yes.
we serve
Everybody.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's important for people to remember is that this is
Yes.
this is not a strictly Catholic thing by any means.
Right.
So, if you just joined us, we are talking to Cathy Crisp and Brenda Wersal from. Sorry, Brenda.
It's okay.
I just spoke it the first time from the St. Vincent de Paul Society. Can you tell us a little bit about the store? Because a lot of people know about the store. I have actually never been to the store. I know about it because I work here. I know. But now there's going to be one on the west side eventually. And then I live on the west side. So, of course, St. Vincent de Paul store advertises in the Bishop's Bulletin. So many people see that.
Sure.
And they know about it. But what does the store do, and where does the income, the proceeds from that go?
So the store also is not just a store.
I had no doubt.
No, we have a gentleman that's been working in retail for a long time, so he's got that retail experience, but at the same time has done a lot of thrifting in his life, so he understands the thrift side of it. And on top of that, he works with people who are maybe difficult to place into an employment position,
Sure.
or maybe they want to work, but that anxiety or whatever medical condition they might have is limiting them to working, 10 to 15 hours a week. So we have the capability of saying, hey, we can find something for you to do for those few hours a week. And I think that's super powerful.
Yeah.
If you walk into the store, you will see smiles. You will see happy employees, which is always wonderful.
Yep.
They do a lot of community type things where they'll do they call it Hot Dog Friday. And, so they have, it's just what it sounds like. It's hot dogs.
And during Lent, I assume it's fish.
No. I think they just
Well,
have
they
to
might not
change
be
the day.
Catholic,
Right. But they're always smiling. We work with, there's people that come in through the state, through their TANF programs, so they're able to do some hours with us. There is court-ordered hours. So we provide
Wow.
all sorts of opportunities for people to
Yeah.
work and make a huge difference in other people's lives. So the sales and the proceeds from those sales go back into our conferences.
Yeah.
The store sends money to each one of the conferences every month. And I should also mention that not just in Sioux Falls do we have conferences. We also have Yankton and Watertown now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And those two have been added in the last 2.5 to 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah. So, the store sends money to each of them, and then that helps support their outreach
Right.
as they are helping people with their
Very good.
utilities and
Very
rent
good.
and what have you.
The number of things you guys do to help people is really incredible, and in a way that helps them be able to get on their own feet, have the dignity of work. It's really amazing.
Right. And we have a lot of partnerships. We work with a lot of area organizations, and so that's very good. Our manager is very knowledgeable in that, and so he's great about it's not just left to us to do that.
right.
He's also involved with a lot of those things.
Right.
And so it makes for a nice teamwork opportunity as well.
Yeah. All right. I just mentioned a minute ago that there's going to be a new store on the west side. So let's talk about that a little bit. What is happening with that building, Cathy, if you'll fill us in?
So the new store will be at 41st and Ellis Road. We're getting ready to do we had a groundbreaking this week.
Okay.
And we hope to have the store up and open in the spring of 2024.
Oh, nice.
So I believe that as soon as that steel starts coming in, it's going to go up really fast. And it's been a long time coming. We've been working on this for a few years, but we're there.
Yeah.
And so now we just keep moving forward, and everything seems to be falling into place as
great.
God allows, because it's not our project; it's His project.
Yep.
And so we just keep kind of following the path of what He leads. And the store will have a retail space. It will also have a warehouse. And then it will have a training and meeting conference area for our Vincentians, which is what our volunteers are called. So we'll be able to do training for new ones. We can do that for, anyone who opens a conference. Then we can do that training. And
Right.
we hope to have the diaper ministry on the west side of town as well.
Sure, yeah.
So we're always looking for more people because you need more volunteers. You need more people to make those things happen.
Yeah.
And then part of one of the other facets that we do is when we get items in, and we have a lot of things that are donated. When we get a surplus of those, or maybe it's something that's not really probably reusable or sellable, we can bundle those.
Oh,
and
sure.
we put those into bales. And then we're able to sell those to other organizations or other stores within our service. And they can use those items
That's
to
a good
sell
idea.
in their stores. Because a lot of stores in the United States don't get the donations like we do.
Right.
So that is another source of income for us, that we're paid for those bales by
Very
the
nice.
pound. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's lots of ways to recycle and prevent things from going to the landfill.
Yeah.
And help save our community.
Absolutely.
So.
Brenda, how's the fundraising going for that? You have the fundraising chair.
Yes.
So how are we doing?
It's a big learning curve, but I have help. We've raised about $186,000 so far.
Good.
So it's doing well. We have a steering committee, is what they call it, I guess. It's a small group of people that we've put a name list together, and we're reaching out to individuals and corporations, agencies, that kind of thing.
Very good.
So we have started doing that, and people have been very generous.
Good.
Of course, we're looking for more. If we get really going on a roll here, maybe there'll be a third store. Who knows?
That would be great. We
Yes,
always
but-
need more good thrift stores.
Yes.
Because
But-
they're really helpful in the
Yes,
community.
but as Cathy said, volunteers are always of the utmost importance, because I know one comment people have is that it's really hard to get in on get a visit from us.
Yep.
But it is limited by the number of volunteers.
Sure.
So the more volunteers we can have,
The more you can do.
the more we can do.
Yeah.
And those people that are helping with donations to the store, as Cathy said, it's not just a store.
Right.
Those proceeds go
It's a whole
back
ministry.
to the conferences and to the mission
Yep.
of helping those in our community.
Yeah.
And I think the Sioux Falls community does a very good job because we work with agencies in the area. They work with us. If the need is really big, we can all work together
Yeah.
and help the people that really need it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, ladies, before we end, I want to know two things we want everybody to know. How can they volunteer? In what ways? I know there's at least two ways, through the store and through the parishes, correct? So how do they do
Yes. You can just contact your local parish office.
Okay.
And they can connect you with one of us.
that? Great.
They can also send an email to our website. We do have a website for them to use. And so that is svdpsd.com. And they can find more information on there.
Good.
So
And they can also start a conference in their parish
absolutely.
if they want. And do they contact you to find out how to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's another way you can volunteer. You can also volunteer at the store. Yes?
You can volunteer at the store. That would be through the store manager.
Okay. All right.
And then you can also, our Holy Innocents Ministry is
yeah.
always looking for people
Okay.
to help. So if you're not comfortable with those home visits, or it's something you just kind of want to ease your way into
Sure.
and figure out what it's all about, then we are more than happy to have you help us with that diaper ministry. It's very
Yeah.
easy. It's only 2 hours each time they do it. And they're great leadership over there
Yeah.
that's handling that. So
Good.
I would say if you have any questions, you can certainly call your parish office, or you can call the store if you're not Catholic. You don't have
Okay.
to be Catholic to volunteer
Right.
for us.
No.
And we can get you going from there.
Yeah. Okay. So that was sdvpsd.com.
Correct.
And if they want to contribute to the campaign, do they also go to the website to do that, Brenda?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a spot for that, if I remember. I think I went in there and I saw there was a campaign button for
There's
donating.
a donate
Yes.
button, and you can give online on there. Yes.
Yeah. And please do. This is a fantastic ministry. I know several people who are involved in it, just recently learned they were involved. And there are people that I know in my life that are just wonderful people. I'm not surprised at all that they're involved. So if you can volunteer for something like this, I think it's a good thing to do, because it is just, you do so much, and it's really impactful in the community. So is there anything else we missed before we go?
May I say one more thing?
Yes, please.
If you're scared to even think about volunteering for this, that's good. Pray about it. Discern what God wants you to do. And if it still sticks in your mind, call right away
Yes.
to your parish office, because God wants you to grow, and to grow in holiness with others in community.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Brenda. That's perfect. Thank you very much, ladies, for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, I hope everything goes really well with the new building. I'm looking forward to it opening up on the west side.
Oh, we're excited.
So are we.
All right. If you haven't found us on social media yet, you can find us at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at SF Diocese. And of course, if you haven't been looking in your email for the weekly email newsletter from the diocese, that is called Against the Current. So make sure you open that up if you see it in your email. That's it for us today. Hope you'll join us again next week for more Catholic Views.